Welcome to the Super Facts Show on the Super Facts Network. I just appreciate you listening. So I'm not going to ask you to follow me on Instagram at Mark Waldo Ward. I'm not going to ask you to rate and review the show. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe to it. Thank you for your time. What up, world? It's your boy Mark Waldo Ward, Super Facts Show. Make art, not content. Today we got with us a veteran, just revered for years. One of the first artists out of Stapleton, Pop the Brown Hornet, aka Pop the Brown Bomber. Which one is you going by more these days?
It doesn't really make a difference. I have the alias. Well, you got Pop the Brown Hornet / the Brown Pop the Brown Bomber. So it doesn't make a difference, man. They're both alter egos. So Pop the Brown Hornet is more of a conscious MC. He's gonna rhyme about black on black crime and straighten it out. Let's do the right thing. And I'm gonna come out a message for my people because that's where I grabbed the character the Brown Hornet from. Now the Brown Bomber, that's like just like lyrical assassin. Like I'm not playing no games with anybody. I'm dropping bombs on you. That's where bomb fire. That's what this is about. This is about, you know what I mean? Bomb and fire.
Hey, when I was watching, my bad, but we got to set it up though. Right now, you just dropped new videos from Mike Champs and Staten Island, and when I was watching the videos and listening to it on Spotify, I was wondering that Bomber Fire. So yeah, okay, I get it now.
So Bomber Fire is like another alter ego. So we got Pop the Brown Hornet, how I really first came out and hit the world. I grabbed the Brown Hornet from the Fat Albert cartoon. The Brown Hornet used to come on Fat Albert, and then the Hornet would give them a message. So I grabbed that concept as me being the Brown Hornet. I'm always going to give a message to my people or to the universe. The Brown Bomber is just like a brown bomb with a plane. I'm dropping bombs on my enemies. Y'all coming at me, y'all going to get the Brown Bomber. And Bomber Fire is just Brown Bomber times 10 type. Bomber Fire! You know what I mean? When I drop bombs, I just leave fire at the end. And that's lyrically, So lyrically, I just drop bombs, and whether it be conscious, lyrically, I got, for the ladies, that's my mindset.
Got you. So who is it on Staten Island Fly with all that vicious polo?
Staten Island Fly, that's like Benny Black the Mac right there. But that's another alias, but it's a combination of Benny and Brown Bomber. The reason why Stapleton Fly came about is the fact that you could grab Staten Island, people around the world, they may stole Staten Island for the Stapleton Park Hill. That's where the W came from. A lot of people have me as a Wu-Tang affiliate, so forth and so on. So I just wanted to clear the air, and let the world know that Pop the Brown Hornet, aka the Brown Bomber, it's from Stapleton, Staten Island. The 10304. Not that they didn't know before, but all these, everybody's prideful. You say Biggie, you say Jay-Z's from Marcy, Brown Hornet, I'm from Stapleton. Ghostface Killer, Stapleton. Shaheem the Rugged Child, Stapleton. Mag Wiles. So I just want to implant myself and embody Stapleton and bring forth the Stapleton flyness that already existed, but just embody it and give it to the world. Like, Staten Island is the forgotten borough when you think about New York. So it kind of like lacks identity. If it's not Wu-Tang and gritty hip hop, they kind of get lost to where style and flavor and pizzazz come from. So I'm just letting them know I'm from Stapleton, and from Stapleton, more or less, the hierarchy, you always keep it fly.
Isn't there like a lot of pretty parts of Staten Island too, though?
Well, Staten Island is more of a is labeled as being the richest borough because, as far as numbers wise, and it is predominantly Caucasian. So there's money out here. You know what I mean? You definitely have the more wealthy parts of Staten Island. Us coming from, there's only really 5 gutter spots on Staten Island. So you got maybe Manus Harbor, West Brighton, New Brighton, Park Hill, Stapleton. Those are the 5 most known hood projects. There's other projects as well, but they're just not as notorious as those 5. There's a couple, you know, you got South Beach, you got Arlington, you got the Berry Homes, you got Toad Hill, and then the rest of it is majority money.
But isn't it like some nice parks and stuff like that too, though?
Of course.
Like,
It is just-
like extra nice. Like, because I've been there
Like
like
extra-
twice, and I saw one shit that looked like damn near the forest on that first Planet of the Apes reboot. And you know, listening to like Wu-Tang and all that stuff, I was like, damn, I know it's nothing like that here.
Yeah, nah, as far as extra nice, like you said, Staten Island is more of the park borough of New York. So even when you come in, of course, the Verrazano, or if you take the ferry, or you take any other bridge, you know, the Gothels, Outer Bridge, Bayonne, and you come to Staten Island, it's going to look like a big forest because there's a lot of greenery. You know what I mean? So if you go to the other side of Staten Island, there's a lot of mansions, a lot of nice houses, but there's a lot of parks as well.
Got you. So you know, speaking of the Wu, have you seen that show on Hulu?
Not at all.
Okay, because I was curious, you know, how good you would have thought they did in setting up Staten Island in the '90s, like if it looked authentic and all that.
But you can't talk about hip hop on Staten Island in the late '80s and early '90s without talking about Pop the Brown Hornet. It's impossible. So for me not to even be mentioned and all of that, or you don't hear the Shaheems, it's a very one-sided. And like I said, I didn't watch it. I know they stole a couple of things. My couple of comrades, they put me onto it because I'm very reluctant to watch it or even help it make any kind of money. So I don't tune in. I don't do any of that. But I know on one episode, they had an episode where they had a tape cassette where it said "No More Mr. Nice Guy," and that's, you know, the original "No More Mr. Nice Guy" was Down Low Record, Ghostface Killer, and myself. And then if you follow the Underground Emperor album, you'll know that "No More Mr. Nice Guy" was on my album.
Wow.
So for Rizzo and any one of them to even bring that name up, "No More Mr. Nice Guy," and not have Pop the Brown Hornet or a character of mine involved in that situation, it's numerous other things, but it's nothing that I want to tune into. It has a great, I mean, what is it called? The American.
I don't know. I just call it the Wu-Tang joint. But I'm the type
Yeah.
of dude, bro. Like when I talk about albums, I don't know like the names of the songs. I'll remember like number 9. You know what I mean?
No, perfectly clear. I understand. Me, I remember names, maybe because I'm an artist. So I know that I can't use that hook no more. I wouldn't try to do this, that, and the third, or whatever. But yeah, "No More Mr. Nice Guy," especially when you hear it inside the series, if you're watching the series, is a reference to it or whatever the case may be. But I was originally on that song, and they have it to say that Method Man, back in the days, allegedly Method Man made a song dissing Stapleton, and Ghostface made a rebuttal to it called "No More Mr. Nice Guy," which was produced by a so-called producer in Stapleton that wasn't RZA. And so it happened to be R&S. R&S produced "No More Mr. Nice Guy."
Got you. I mean, you know, shit like that always gets shit wrong. And then
Well, it's not about getting shit wrong.
It's
about being able to use it, manipulate it, and not pay the rightful owner of it, so we can do. Listen.
Oh, I don't mean factually wrong. I mean like wrong. Like it's just some wrongness there, like all the way around.
No, but deliberately.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
Yeah, that's wrong. You know, not giving people they do, not cutting checks, shit like that's wrong. I mean, at least in my opinion. I know some people seem to think it's a perfectly acceptable business practice.
Yeah, I gather that's, you know, in the music business, that's what, you know, they steal stuff, they do this, they run with XYZ. Like I say, I was there in the beginnings. Contractually, it didn't make sense for me to join the Wu-Tang Clan, even though they have a cult following, they're legends in the game, and what they brought to the game, no one else could duplicate. And I would never, ever try to duplicate it or even make the sound that they have. Brown Hornet has a whole distinctive sound. Even the new music that I'm bringing forth, you know, I don't have any intentions on sounding like the Clan.
Hey, so when it was like people coming up, like let's say like 15 years after after Wu-Tang debut from around there who don't got nothing to do with them that tried to sound like them on purpose. Would y'all look down on those cats?
Say that one more again.
I like I noticed, like, let's say like around like 2004, 2005, there was I ain't gonna say no names, but there was a couple of artists from Staten Island who didn't have anything to do with anything Wu-Tang, but they tried to sound like Wu-Tang, and it didn't work out. I thought because it was kind of corny, like sound like yourself. But I just
I never. Well, you don't have to say any names, but I really.
So you never people trying to sound like the Wu and get signed and shit like down the line after they had the.
But what had happened is this. Sometimes I could believe that, because what happened, like I said, when you have Wu-Tang and you have a cult following, you have a specific sound, there may be a lot of people that try to duplicate that sound, or even if, like you said, it might have been 10, 15 years later. Don't try to fix what's not broke. Let's try to XYZ. Like I said, I wouldn't suggest that you do it. It's all about originality.
Word.
But my thing is, there might be somebody from uptown that might try to sound like Mace tomorrow, or sound like Cameron. Not specifically the same, or even a Big L. You know what I mean? I think that's paying homage in a sense, but you just better kill that shit if you're going to try to make that sound. Even back in the days when Biggie was out, then when Biggie, rest in peace, passed, Sean came out sounding like Biggie. You know what I mean? Until he got into his situation. So you're always going to find a little similarities of XYZ. You just have to be able to bring it, full fledged.
Hey, no shot at Shine, but that first one, it just lived off the beat, because that was the most edited video in the history of rap music. Like that shit went like, one of them verses, it went like 22 seconds without no words, because they was bleeping everything out he was saying.
Right.
I mean, that's neither here nor. What was that shit like? You put shit out on the majors. I never liked edited shit. I would rarely, I'd watch a video to see the video, but I wouldn't like listening to rap on the radio. How do you feel like when you hear your music edited?
Well, I do my best not to use too much profanity. That's what I do my best. There might be certain songs and it'll be deliberately done like that. But when I do write my material, I try to use as less curse words as possible, so I don't hear too much of that editing out of what, you know what I mean? So you have a good song, and but that's at that time. That's what hip hop was transcending to. It's like hip hop came out in the golden era. Then when it came out in the '90s, it was the crack thug era, and then it kind of like, wait till you see my this. It got more explicit. So where more explicit songs were, after 2 Live Crew won that, freedom of speech and all of that. You've seen a lot more hip hop where it had to get bleeped out, but it didn't start like that. When I grew up off the golden era, I listened to the Rakims of the world. I don't think Rakim ever cursed. Big Daddy Kane, Kool G Rap might have been a little bit different, but Slick Ricks of the world or whatever, they didn't really curse. So I tried to, when I make my music, I don't want to hear too much bleeping like you're saying. But sometimes you make a dirty song and it slipped through the cracks and becomes successful. So, it has its exceptions, but for the most part, I try to really regulate how much profanity that I use.
Now that's what's up. They say profanity is the crutch of those with a small vocabulary. So the damn sure ain't nothing wrong with that. So you was talking about Shyheim being from your projects and Big L. Shyheim's one of my favorite artists of all time, and I love the song you did with Big L. But what was like a young Shyheim like? Because I ain't never been around. Well, I ain't never been around a child MC period. But unless I'm forgetting somebody, he was like the only one that wasn't corny. Or I shouldn't even say corny. He was the only one that like adults was buying a CD. Like wasn't nobody buying no ABC CD or no Crisscross CD that was like over 15 or whatever.
What I'm gonna put it in a nutshell. That's why GP the Green, you got Down Low, June Love, and myself. You had RNS as far as the producer. So we would always help critique, if not lend a hand into writing Shyheim's early material. So he had to come out of Stapleton Staten Island, we wasn't going to play around with that shit at all. You know what I mean? We had Armin as the top-notch producer. Like I said, Down Low, June Lover, their artists. Myself, when he first came out, I was a little reluctant. You know, I wasn't too big on kid rap. You know what I mean? You had the crisscrosses of the world and things of that nature. So when all the rest of them started coming in and Shyheim caught the deal, I was just raw. At the time he caught the deal, I was really in the streets. So I didn't want to come with my real rugged rawness and fuck up a good situation. You know what I mean? When you're a kid, yeah. So I had to find a balance when even dealing with the situation. So when Shyheim and those guys was dealing with Snagglepuss and all of those in the early days, I was still on the block hardcore doing other shit, yo, and running the coalition, getting people construction jobs. So I had heavy street material. That's why I always like, yo, you need to stop playing around and get involved. So once I did, you know, I took Shyheim, like as a youngster, 14, 15, under the wing like everybody else did, just to make sure he would hone his craft. And like I said, in the early stages, when we helped him out, he was very quick to pick up, start writing on his own. You know, he definitely wanted to be eager to say, nah, I didn't need any help. So he definitely wasn't handicapped when it came to that. So when he wrote Screw on the Silences or a few number of songs on that second LP, he wrote those. You know, I was very happy when he started it out with Shit Is Real, because Shit Is Real I wrote. So I was just like, oh, all right, cool. You know, still paying homage to the big bro and things of that nature. But like I said, then thereafter, he grew into his own artist. But as a youngster, he was very eager, very open-minded, and very determined to become, you know, to flourish and become an artist.
You weren't there when he freestyled at Madison Square Garden with Kane and them, were you?
No, I wasn't there. I think at that time, Kane had really took him under the wing, and Kane was bringing him to a lot of places himself. You know, Kane was like, yo, come here. And Kane was, come here. So no, I wasn't there on a lot of occasions. But on Pass It Off, the remix, Kane is on that. Kane came to the studio. I was there when he laid his verse and things of that nature. He came through. So Pass It Off, the original, is like Shyheim, Down Low, Rubber Bands, myself, and Kane at the end. Or I think I come on after Kane on that. You know what I mean? So
I was listening to that. It's on Spotify. If you go into Shyheim's discography, you just gotta go to EPs and singles, and when you hit the single, it's got 4 versions.
4 different versions, right?
But like you're not on one of them, but I definitely was listening to the joint with you and Kane.
I'm not on one of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
One of them only had like 3 people, and it sounded like it was like a producer just took the vocals and did a remix.
Yeah. Listen, like I said, we got fans. You got XYZ. I'm like a rebel when it comes to this Wu history. So you'll see me getting exiled off a lot of shit because I don't. I mean, you're on the other songs. It was just one version didn't have you. It was 4 versions of it, and then an instrumental for each version, which was dope. I used to like that shit back in the day, because we used to try to rap and we'd play a little instrumental and be smoking or something going to it. Yeah.
I remember when ciphers used to be like like you had to be able to rap to get in them, but it was more like you would show your skills instead of trying to like make fun of motherfuckers and shit.
Yeah, I got you. You just like you said, show your skills, have fun with the culture till you get your shit sharp. You know what I mean? Now even on Staten Island, it was a deadly game because all MCs
I was about to say it.
From King Just and the Now Born Clique, and you had so many individuals wanting to get on that it was no nonsense. You couldn't definitely come around. One of the early MC, like when the UMCs got on, UMCs, Fushnikin, it was more like the more soulful hip hop. So a lot of the people from Staten Island didn't, when Wu-Tang came on, they wanted to kind of crush everything and exile everything that came moving. So they came hardcore. But yeah, Staten Island was very diverse, and we felt like we had to be top tier of what we did. That's why when I came with Black on Black Crime, everybody had to pick the angle that they came from, but I think it's more or less religion that when you're coming from Staten Island during that time, that you better be on your A game.
And I can imagine. I mean, like that shit must have been insanity. Like just being able to.
I mean, you
just
got
any
King
group of
Just.
people you might hear rapping. And before you even say anything, y'all need to go check out the Pop and King Just album. I says 2016 on Spotify, but the years ain't always when it came out. But I was very happy to discover that. Now please continue who you got rapping in fact then.
Yeah. So that, and even when we did the Emperor and the Best of Both Hoods, the Emperor and the King, King Just, like you said, 2016, 2017, something in that area. And it was just about me, me and KJ used to go to high school together. I'm a couple of years his senior. And in high school, he would, come to me with his comrades and always want to battle. Every other day, he's coming with a new rhyme. But, we was writing rhymes every day back then. I went from playing football, go home, do your homework. Well, I'm writing fresh rhymes, you know what I mean? So, and I always knew he was coming. There was a few other MCs that was in the school, but they wasn't running up on me. You know what I mean? So that's why I always had love for KJ. And even back then, he used to tell me, yo, we're going to make an album together. And I was like, yeah, all right, whatever, KJ. So when he came out with Black Fist, he was running with some real street dudes. So they had him in a chokehold. It wasn't like, I could really get next to him at that particular time. And I was doing my own thing. I was on my Black on Black Crime, and I was on, I was doing my own thing anyway, Smoke Records, MCA. But I always felt like that, I always wanted to make a collaboration with him. He's from Park Hill, I'm from Stapleton. We share the same zip code, 10304. Between Stapleton and Park Hill, it's a rivalry. Some people hate each other. Some people love each other, you know what I mean, from the projects. I happen to have people that I love and hate, but there's some people I love and hate from Stapleton too. You know how it goes. But that Stapleton Park Hill rivalry is real. So it was good to do a song or an album, should I say, with King Just to let you know that there's still brotherhood within, the animosity and the anger that exists between us.
I mean, shit, any steps towards conflict resolution is always a good thing. Did you ever used to run into a young Remedy?
Remedy?
Yeah, Remedy Ross, the white cat that, yeah.
Me and Remedy was on the same high school before we went to Newdorf. Remedy, me and Remedy is Ross Filler. He played on the football team. You know what I mean? So he's a year my senior. But we played on the football team together, Newdorf and Newdorf. Yeah, so I know Ross. In the early days, we used to ride around in his white Max. He used to have like a station wagon Maxim or this shit or whatever. You know what I mean? Man, back in the days, you didn't really see many of them, but he had one. I always remember. We used to play EPMD. We used to play all the classic shit. You know what I mean? He was one of the white boys from Newdorf football team that was intrigued with hip hop. When I played for Newdorf, you had the Pink Floyd, you had all the rock and roll, Queen and everything that was going on back then. Motley, all that stuff,
Yeah.
So Motley Crue and shit like that. So that was popping. So when on the football team, the white boys would play that radio, they shit loud in the locker room because, Newdorf was predominantly white. And I used to have to play my headphones. So I'd be having, Big Daddy Kane, heavy, you know what I mean? All my shit be on the headphones.
You ain't like the Pink Floyd? You ain't like none of it?
Oh, some of them I rock with. No. I wasn't against all of them. Some of them will get me hyped. You know what I mean? I see, white boys start banging their heads on the lockers and shit like that.
Like Latimer on the program and shit.
Right, but I still have to be like boom, 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 ah! You know what I mean?
I can dig it.
I used to have to play my BDP. I had to play Slick Rick. That's what got me hyped for the game. I'm going in on a whole different, you know what I mean? When you played Public Enemy and all of those back in the days, that's what got me hyped. So yeah, Ross Filler gravitated to a lot of that. So in the early days, he had other peers, and Ross was always cool. Like I said, one of the cooler ones, you know what I mean? So we had a definitely strong bond. I would have never imagined him clinking up with the Wu-Tang like he is, so so close and embedded. But so yeah, like I said, we know each other since high school.
Word. And you just spoke on Public Enemy, but I see Hank Shockley was the executive producer of the GP Wu project. I'm just curious, what was his contributions?
It's a double-edged sword right there. Very thankful for Hank Shockley and Daddy Yo for signing us. But me personally, I just felt like Hank Shockley kind of fumbled the ball. When we signed to Hank Shockley, we wanted to be GP The Grain, period. GP The Grain. That's it. It was his idea to add on the Wu, and from that moment on, it threw a monkey wrench in our whole movement because we never wanted to be GP Wu. Never ever once did we ever want to be GP Wu. We wanted to be GP The Grain. You know, he wanted to run with the Wu stigma due to the fact he knew the history of, Stapleton and where Wu-Tang started from. But the Wu-Tang Clan was well upon their way, and I think he just more or less shot us in the foot, especially at retail at that time, because everybody at retail, once they heard GP Wu, they would call up Wu-Tang in the Wu office, and the Wu office at that time didn't really co-sign with what we was doing on MCA. So they kind of heard us at retail. They're like, nah, they ain't that, nah, that GP Wu shit ain't that, nah, they ain't rocking with us. And shortly thereafter, you had your remedies and your priest. Was a priest? Was Killer Priest?
Killer Priest.
You had your Killer Priest and your remedies and
Capadonna.
everybody else who was a Wu affiliate. They had that Wu-Tang, that little Wu stand. Bam! You had to have to see that little Wu stand. We brought forth that because after GP Wu and our promotions and boom boom coming out of Staten Island, they didn't want anybody else to try. So after that came that little Wu official. You have to have that Wu stand to be officially approved from the Abbott RZA to be down with Wu-Tang.
Man, well, I mean, no, also you got to make a song with Marley Marl on that, right?
What'd you say?
I said, no, also you got to make a song with Marley Marl on there, right?
Yeah, Marley Marl. We did the Follow Me Up remix with bands. Definitely was a blessing doing a joint with Marley Marl, and he's a legend. He told me, he was a fan of mine from the Black on Black Crime. So, listen, it was not all bad. I mean, I opened up shows for Run DMC and Jam Master Jay, rest in peace, when he was still alive. Things of that nature. We met Casey, JoJo, and and Mary J. I just feel like it could have been a whole lot better and bigger.
Well, I mean, yeah, bro. If motherfuckers is changing your name to some shit, yeah, I feel you. You know what I mean? And to what you were saying, I wasn't finna ask you a bunch of Wu-Tang questions because I figured you was probably getting tired of them shits. And I saw on everything I looked up, it said Wu affiliate. And like I said, I had to pop the Brown Hornet album, and I didn't even know it really had nothing to do with no, like, I don't know. It just don't seem like, I never thought of you as such.
Because I'm not. At the end of the day, and this is what people have to really understand, I predate the Wu-Tang Clan and the Wu-Tang movement. The Wu-Tang movement was in existence, and then RZA got involved, and he got his clan, his family members, the GZA, the Old Dirty Bastard. He got the 5%ers from the Hill. A lot of those dudes was anti-Wu-Tang at one particular time. They weren't big Wu-Tang advocates. They just followed under the Prince. They followed under the Prince Rakeem. Once Prince Rakeem dropped that band, "Oh We Love You Rakeem" from Tommy Boy, he came back to Staten Island and he grabbed the Wu-Tang concept that already existed in Stapleton. Stapleton is where the seed was planted for the Wu-Tang movement. RZA just so happened to say, "Oh shit," he fell into the movement, got on his production, grabbed a couple of MCs, and then made history. I was supposed to be down with the Wu-Tang Clan, but when I got on the phone with RZA, courtesy of Ghostface, he wanted to tell me that I was only going to receive 5% of my publishing. which is that was what Wu-Tang Clan signed to. That's why they became so dysfunctional. You had U-God write a whole tell-all book, and you know they always trying to sue him because he had a contract, which was a conflict of interest, but they all signed it and never brought it to a lawyer. They just signed it. Me, a little bit more like, nah, I'm good. So in return of me telling him no, and at that time when you know, because the Wu didn't start off powerful, you know,
Right.
they gained their power. But at one time they were very humble individuals, and Wu and Staten Island was behind them to help propel them to the height that they reached. Once they reached it, they slammed the doors and burnt the bridges. You know what I mean? But in doing so, my name was too late, already involved with the Wu-Tang movement. So they, you know, and then when RZA, you know, and the 36 Chambers, up from the 36 Chambers, Ghostface, old dirty man, U-God, 60-second assassin, pop the Brown Hornet. Now, when he says my name, the Wu maniacs is gonna be like, whoa, yo, RZA, he says your name, like the fucking almighty RZA. You're Wu-Tang because of RZA. No. Only reason why RZA said my name is because I'm part of the Wu-Tang movement that predated him. I was never on any Wu-Tang album, so you see my name shouted out and all kinds of shit because they know I was there.
Right.
But I deliberately made sure that my sound was different. I'm not on no Ghostface album, Method Man album, Wu-Tang album. I'm not on any of that. So to have me as a Wu-Tang affiliate, that was just to dampen to hamper my advancement. And once people would have thought that, yo, Pop the Brown Hornet is down with the Wu-Tang, and if I come out other than, it's like, oh, he's dissing Wu-Tang, or yo, he fuck Brown Hornet, I only know him because of, you know, they want to act like I'm acting other than, but I've never been on a Wu-Tang tour. I've never been on a Wu-Tang album. Never. So
Gotcha.
I'm not an affiliate at all. I just come from Staten Island, and I come from the place where Wu-Tang started from, and they know that.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, your body of work stands by itself for sure. So you know, speaking of the body of work, you know, you got 2 new videos out right now. Is that leading to something? Like, what's the next move? Or are you just gonna work the songs right now?
Well, I got songs. Those songs, Stapleton Fly and Mike Champ, is like I did an EP, Foreman Mandela. So it's been lingering around for 3 years. The pandemic hit, slowed things down. But me coming from the underground independently, no major push. I just feel like, you know, I should be able to show visuals to each and every song, because each and every day I might be grabbing a new Brown Hornet fan. A lot of people don't know my body of work, don't know who I am. We're dealing with a whole different time. It's been 20 years since I really dropped a solo album. So I just really wanted to slow grind with Foreman Mandela, and we're at the point where I'm at Stapleton Fly and I'm at Mike Champ. It's probably going to cap off the EP that I've done. So, you know, I just, like I said, it's just another push, another couple of singles at the same time simultaneously to push my name out there a little bit more. So hopefully in 2023, when I do drop my next joint, you know, it'll create more of a buzz and hopefully more of an anticipation.
I'm sure.
At the same time, I have a clothing line. I deal with garments, so I got some Staten Fly, SNY. I got different patterns, females and male shirts. So I'm in the merchandise game. I'll be, you know, and that's what I'm starting.
Where you get those at?
Well, you definitely, if you got, I don't have a website yet. That's in the working. But if you have Instagram, follow me, Pop the Brown Hornet _10304. Hit me in the DM. You know, Facebook, Pop the Brown Hornet. But hit me in the DM. Anybody who's interested, and I'll correspond with you and we'll make it happen.
Shit, that's what's up. But what I was gonna ask you though, like in New York City, it seems like y'all have like polo pieces that you never see nowhere else. And I've been to polo stores all over. I can say all over the world, but you know.
Now, I think Polo does that deliberately. Polo is gonna send. You got to remember, New York is the mecca. You know, New York, you got Paris, London. Certain spots is like this the Mecca capital fashion here. So I think Polo deliberately sends certain stuff. He scatters that shit like that.
Because I ain't gonna say I'm hating or jealous or nothing, but I wish I knew a store somewhere around me that I could have got a like for instance that polo bucket hat you was wearing with the polo shirt that had the different color sleeves.
Polo bucket with the man, with the teddy bear jump.
Hey, what he got? He got a basketball.
He got like a beach ball in his hand, like a beach ball.
Man, look like I don't know if you call it like a holy grail or whatever, but like the one polo shirt I ain't never have that I really want. I want a bear jump with a basketball. Like I found bear jumps before, but every time I find a basketball one on eBay, it's either too faded or it's like $750.
Right. People grab these items and like you said, you don't find like stuff like that if you ain't in New York. So some people's gonna grab that and they're gonna spike it up for you. You know what I mean?
Bro, as far as I can tell, the last time the polar bear had a basketball was 1997. So it's only one I ever see on sale regularly. It's dark green. That shit is so vicious. Hey, this out of nowhere, but nobody ever remembers these Jones. Y'all used to have RL 2000, right?
RL 2000 Polo,
Yeah.
like the scuba shit.
Yeah.
Of
And like
course,
they had like outdoor shit. Do you remember they had a pair of boots that was like Chucks that had two straps that crossed over them, like the Tim Hardaway Jones, but they was like some Chuck looking polo boots with like red highlights and shit.
it may be familiar. I mean, I do remember the RL. I'm not quite sure if I remember those boots.
See, I'm asking everybody from New York because you couldn't ski them. They was like I said, they was like some Chucks. But I'm asking everybody from New York because one day somebody's gonna be like, yeah, and I know where to get them.
Okay, nah. Might have to look online, man. You might have to write Polo yourself. They gotta be somewhere.
Word, yeah, you gotta be proactive in this motherfucking world, huh? Closed mouth don't get fed. But I just be feeling like man, New York cast is in the polo is like some motherfucking detectives.
Man, I was into polo at a very young age. I remember wearing it in high school, and my mom used to take my polo shit and wear it to work. I was like, "Man, polo and Timberland." We got polo, Timberland, and our Levi's, man. Your Sergio Valentes, and it came, some Daredevils. It was all kinds of shit. But polo, once polo came in, I mean, look where it's at now. You got 30 years later. Reason why I wear polo is because it's classic. I could wear something from 2000 and mesh it with something that's coming out right now. I do that very often. There's a couple old pieces that I have or what have you, and polo has a tendency to use the same color patterns.
Yeah.
Flip it, you know what I mean? So it definitely coordinated, interact, and boom, boom. How long you? Oh shit! You know what I mean? So.
Or did you used to do shit like I do shit like I buy a polo that I couldn't even think of nothing to match with, and I probably might not be able to wear it for 2 years, but 2 years down the line I find some shoes that match it perfectly.
Yeah, I've done that a lot. I'll buy a polo and just to wear it, and like you said, you might not have nothing really to match with it, so it'll sit up, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, this pink polo shirt just matched that pink, whatever, the new, yeah, you know what I mean? Now you looking. And now people's like, yo, where you get that polo shirt? You done had it for 7 years. You know what I mean? But the little brand is vintage. That's why we can rock that. If I had Willie Esco from 7 years ago, I'm gonna have to throw it in the trash. So you know what I mean? So certain signature lacrosse, I wear lacrosse here and there, whatever. So there's certain little ones I'll give it, but polo just has that signature, classic, traditional. And they got so many variations, man. They got the yacht club edition with the army fatigue outdoor edition with the, like you said, scuba. It's different editions of polo. So many different variations.
Hey, that's why I'm from DC, and I suspect we about the same age. I graduated high school in '96. So we rocked a lot of the fatigues and shit too in the polo. Well, poor motherfuckers wanted polo. For some reason, the people that was well off tried to dress like Easy E or some shit. That shit used to geek me the fuck out. They be rich as shit, trying to be like hard while we poor as a motherfucker trying to dress like we got a little bit of money, you know what I mean? But
Uh,
I'm curious, would it be more cats rocking like the back in the '90s and shit, and where you was at, would be more cats rocking like the fatigues and all that type shit, or would be more cats rocking the polo, or would it depend on like the weather?
yeah, some brothers was rocking, definitely rocking fatigue. I wore a lot of fatigue. When you watch the Shaheem video, this goes on and on, shot. You know what I mean? I'm Mr. Hardy getting shot, so I got fatigue on in that video. I also rocked a lot of Pele Pele. Pele was out back then. It was
Oh yeah.
coming up, you know what I mean? So if I made uptown trips, I would stop at the Poppies, get my Pele Pele, little boom boom, you know, Fila, you know, Benetton, Gucci, all of that shit was really, you know,
Did
during
y'all
that
fuck with
time.
like you like remember you? I don't know if you like used in like the shits have like mad rips in them and shit. Though those was popular in DC, but other places they wear like major
Yeah,
damages, like the same
Jamaicans
thing.
rock. Jamaicans wore that shit up in New York. We ain't really rock that holy flavorful shit. Cross color shit, that would be like a lot of Jamaicans would wear that.
Yeah, I ain't really like the cross colors. When I did get used jeans though, they just be like plain colors. They have like little patches on the rip sometimes, but you could freak that shit. But yeah, I know what you mean. A lot of that shit was mad colorful.
Yeah, they didn't really rock the
I was
cat.
doing shit where I didn't want to stand out all the time. I ain't want to be wearing colorful shit. You know, you don't want to stand out in the crowd too much, especially if you got to run. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah, but we wasn't rocking too much holes in our shit. That was like the gothic look. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember the gothic motherfuckers started wearing the bell bottoms. That's not neither here nor there though. Them crazy ass bell bottoms be like covering your whole motherfucking shoe and shit. Look like the motherfuckers floating on dirt. But what you?
You caught a flashback real quick, yeah.
Yeah, with the chucks with the big ass ink stains on them when they put the pants up and shit. But what you been listening to lately, man? I suspect you got good taste in music.
I mean, really, I've been really vibing to a lot of Afrocentric. I listen to a lot of, you know, R&B.
I've been on my Bernard Wright lately. I've been listening to Nard over and over.
I actually listen to everything. So even the music I don't like, I'll have my ear to it. You know, I have young nephews and things of that nature. So even some of that drill stuff, I listen to it to know what not to do, but I might listen to it also to grab rhythm and sounds that I could vibe to, and I could, you know, just throw what I do and just grab that tempo of music or that style of music. I'm big on that. I don't mind, you know, being an artist and just paying my pitch, you know, on their sound of music as well as keeping it boom back and classical. So I listen to a lot of Afro. I thought Afro sound is very big. I want to be able to do some music to that. Definitely, like I said, the definitely R&B. And you know, I keep my ear on the hip hop. Who I listen to really hip hop? More East Coast. You know, yeah, more East Coast. It doesn't really, like I said, I listen to everything, but for me to really get my juices flowing, it'd have to be an East Coast feel.
Well, that being said, in all your life, who you think's the non-East Coast rapper you listen to the most?
Well, there's different time frames. Right now, you know, you'd have to listen to Jada, the Locks. You know, they're more of.
No, I said you personally. I said non-East Coast. Like, have you listened to, in your whole life? What non-East Coast rapper have you listened to the most?
Oh, non-East Coast.
Yeah.
That I vibe off. There's a few. You know, I'm always vibe off of Snoop. I'm always, you know, he's going into retirement. Scarface.
You ain't. I was about to ask. Like
Scarface.
Everybody
Snoop,
like Scarface.
Yeah. A few down south. I fuck with. I mess with those Andre 3000s a little bit. They're a little bit more entertaining, but definitely, you know, the first two that I mentioned. But I'll scatter around. A little E40, a little this one, a little that one. You know, I'll listen to those guys. I'll listen to them because I just love hip hop. So there's a lot of them that are really in it. But my mainstay, you know, I could always listen. Like I could always listen to Snoop. I could always listen to Scarface. Like I said, there's a handful of others nowadays. Like you said, up East Coast, I could always listen to Jada, the Locks, Fabulous. And there's a few others. you know. And as I do my music, Staten Island is really known for the woo and darker music. So that's why when I do music, I want it to be a little bit brighter, you know, just show a different style from out of Staten Island. It doesn't have to be dark and gloomy all the time or hardcore and rough. You know, there's a lot of diversity out here, and I want to be able to touch on that.
It sounds to me like you're getting better. Like no insult to your early work, but like why do you think as people move forward, move along in the game, somebody like you or Jim Jones seems to get better, and then like somebody who ain't got a name seems to get mediocre, basically. Like
Maybe
no one
because
ever gets whacked, but it seems like it's so many artists over like 35 who have like 15-year plus careers who just get like mediocre.
yeah, like I was explaining to a couple of individuals, Brown Hornet never, like I said, you might have seen the tip of the iceberg. You didn't see the body or enjoy the body of work. A lot of these dudes aren't as nice as you think they are. A lot of these guys are what I call featured creatures. They can give you 16s. You know, if I could write you 3 16s. So I could write you 10 16s. And those 10 16s, I can match up with other people doing 16s, and that'll be 16 songs, right? To whereas if I'm writing a song, that's going to consist of 3 16s in one song. You understand?
Yeah, I got you.
So a lot of people's career, they got over because a lot of their songs had hella features. I'm not going to mention any names. I can say the W. And a lot of those individuals, their solo albums was feature after feature. It wasn't like you got a solo album out of them where 70 or 80% of the songs were just them by themselves. You feel me? Word. That means a lot to me as an artist, and that's going to mean a lot to you as a listener to say, damn, well, why'd he get mediocre? Because he hid behind the numbers for years. And when it was time for him to stand on his own 2 feet, he wasn't built with any substance.
Speaking of my other little theory is speaking of standing by himself, I bet you a lot of cats can't afford to pay the ghostwriters they used to have, or the ghostwriter just might not be involved in music because you know a lot of times me personally, you know I've been in a lot of studio sessions and thing of that nature, and I see a lot of the ghostwriters was people who were basically like failed artists, or at least like you know like in the 2000s. I don't know before that.
Well,
and not by failed, like they get like a rapper, like you could peep who a lot of rappers ghostwriters were when everybody had to have a company, and the first artist that they put a mixtape out from, a lot of times I know this would be somebody's ghostwriter. And I know at least like 30 situations like that.
It's an unfortunate situation because I know a lot of situations like that, and I think maybe the Woo would have loved for Bobby Brown Hornet to be a ghostwriter. You know, but instead I chose to stick out and stand out on my own, so I was never welcome to the party. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit back and let nobody grab like there's some kind of King Joffrey Joe or you're not my Abby. You're a regular Joe Smoke. You know what I mean? People believe the hype, you believed it, and then you thought or you think who you are. At the end of the day, like a lot of people aren't chanting your verses and a lot of these things. A lot of people hid behind the numbers. A lot of people are mediocre because they were mediocre from the jump. But hypothetically, if we sitting down in a studio, it's 5 of us, and 2 of us are nice, we're going to make sure that the other 3 are going to be up to par. But then if you take the 2 nice ones up out of the studio and leave the 3 subpars by themselves, they're going to go back to being mediocre.
Word. Shit. Word. Yeah. I never thought of it like that. That's a hell of a motherfucking point. Damn. That's some knowledge like shit right there. All right, then last thing, I always look for book recommendations, lie detector reader. And I don't know, with that vocabulary, I'm sure you must have done some your fair share of reading in the day. What's a book you think everybody should read?
Well, if you're in the music business, I remember coming into it, I read everything there is to know about the music business. The music business is so forever interchangeable that if you're a new artist or if you want to get into managerial, or if you want to get into production or promotions, I think you got to grab the latest addition of everything there is to know about the music business. Now that things are digital and things are streams and things of that nature, get to know about what you're getting involved in. I mean, I can't sell diamonds without first reading upon them and studying upon them. You know, I can't be a social studies teacher without first reading upon history and knowing about it. So I think that's the same for the artists. If you're out there, everything there is to know about the music business. Take time to read so you know what every intricate part is supposed to do inside this machine that you're involved in.
And any recommendations for non-artists?
Non-artists? What you mean as far as
Something to read, like a good book. Like, what's a good book you read?
Yeah, my mom just gave me a whole bunch of books, and I can't really remember the titles of them, but so I don't want to lead anybody in the wrong direction. I've been reading the slew of books, but I'm good. They have to be in front of me as I'm in front of a library. But if I was to say anything, to read The Grain by my brother Sean Berry. That's a reading that you'll add some kind of woo history to it, Stapleton history, Park Hill history to it. So it's a Staten Island short read, but it's called The Grain, and it's written by Sean Berry. So I'll give you a quick read, you know what I mean? So you could get into the Staten Island things of it. Like I said, it's a touch. I think I have to be writing a book myself, but like I said, The Grain by Sean Berry.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Well, shit, brother, thank you for your time. Look forward to the upcoming visuals and the new music. And I'd love to touch base with you when you got another project coming out.
Yeah, no problem. Yo, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. To all the followers, yo, Instagram, Pop the Brown Hornet _10304, Facebook, Pop the Brown Hornet, TikTok, Pop the Brown Hornet. Bumble fire!
That's what's up, man. You have a good night, bro. Take it light.
Likewise, brother. Peace.
Peace.